I uploaded a video to YouTube, a long form video, every single day for 30 days. And I want to talk about what I learned throughout this process. First and foremost, I just want to say how proud of myself I am because this has been such an incredible journey. And a couple of months ago, before I started doing this, not even a couple of months ago, I'd say 6 weeks ago, I had no idea that I even had the capacity to do this. And it's just been a really, really beautiful journey. So I've had like an on and off relationship with YouTube for the last 10 years. Those of you who have been with me for a really, really long time might remember back in 2014, 2015, I used to have a beauty channel and I uploaded several videos to my beauty channel and gained a few thousand subscribers from that, and then completely abandoned my beauty channel because it was just too much work. It was a lot of filming, a lot of editing, and I just didn't have the capacity. I didn't have the stomach for it. I didn't have the passion for it, really. I've never really wanted to be a beauty creator, but I would get so many requests from people to do beauty videos and makeup reviews. And so I started doing that. And I love beauty. I love makeup, but it wasn't what I wanted to do for a channel. And so I burned out doing that very, very quickly. When I came back to my YouTube back in, I want to say it was in 2024, I started posting again, but I was only uploading like once a month, and that was just for like a month. And then like 4 or 5 months to go by, 6 months to go by. I think the longest point was from summer to, let me see, I can actually look at my videos. So I uploaded 2 videos in 2024. I uploaded 2 videos in May, and then I didn't upload again until February of 2025. I uploaded 3 videos in February of 2025, then in April, May, June, 4 videos in June of 2025, one in July of 2025, one in September, and one in October. So it was a big increase from what I did in 2024. There was a little bit more consistency, but it wasn't enough consistency for me to really gain any traction on my channel. Then I want to say around October, on Threads, I started following a woman named Glow Atanmo who had been posting every single day on YouTube and had been talking about her journey on Threads. And so I started following her, listening to her advice, and just following her journey, watching her videos, and just was so amazed that she was able to do that. Like, how is it that you were showing up and doing long form every single day on YouTube? Like, how the hell are you doing that? And it made me realize by listening to her all of the reasons why it hadn't been sustainable for me sticking to the commitment to my YouTube channel. And the number one thing that I realized was that I was making my process way too complicated. So something that Glow shares in her videos and in her content is that she just records her videos in one take. And when she first started her journey, and I believe up to this point, I think she started on August 1st and has uploaded every single day since August 1st of 2025, which is incredible. I don't know how many videos that amounts to, but I know that it's over 150 videos. And so what she was doing was she was recording her videos on Zoom and then just uploading those in one take, no edits or anything like that. She didn't have a fancy camera. She didn't have fancy lighting. She didn't do any of those things that, sometimes in our minds we think that we have to do, especially if you're type A or a perfectionist the way I am. Well, let me rephrase that. I am a recovering perfectionist. And so just listening to her talk about how all she was doing was sitting in front of her camera, posting one video in one take, not doing any crazy edits, just uploading and letting it go. I felt like a cool breeze blow over me. And I was so amazed by what she was saying because I had never considered simplifying my process like that. And that had been the main thing that was making it so hard for me to show up on YouTube, was recording and then going into CapCut and editing and breaking things down and creating the thumbnails and color grading and all of the things that just drained my energy. drained my energy. It took the joy out of the process for me. It took the love out of the process for me. And looking back, that was one of the main reasons why I didn't stick to my beauty videos. And none of my beauty videos are on my channel, by the way. I've made them all unlisted because they're not relevant anymore. But that was the thing that burned me out the first time, was just so much labor that goes into making those videos. And there are big creators on this platform who have very, very high followings, and you can tell that they have a team of people behind them where they record and then they send everything off to their editor and, you know, their sound person, and they are able to delegate all of those tasks, which allow them to do super high quality, complicated edits and thumbnails and things of that nature. They're able to do that because they're earning enough money to where they can outsource those tasks. But for me, I don't have the extra income to outsource all of these tasks. I am a one-woman show. I'm an entrepreneur. I run my business. I'm using Instagram, and in combination with uploading on Instagram, my Substack, which I'm also not very consistent in right now, and then wanting to really prioritize YouTube for my business, prioritize YouTube for creating a database for all of the teachings that I have. There was just no way that I would be able to show up consistently on both of those platforms without outsourcing. And so there was a conundrum for me. So when I started following Glow and realized I am making this way harder than I need to make this, I can definitely simplify this process. It started kind of giving me a little bit more confidence to begin the process. And so, like I said, I think I started following Glow maybe in September or October of this past year. And then I went to Egypt in November. And I have a video. It's one of my first videos once I started uploading daily, which is called, I think it's like My New Era or something like that, where I just came back from Egypt and I was just like lit up. I was like, there's no more playing small. I'm going all in on my business. I'm going all in on 10xing my income and just showing up for myself, being consistent, following through on really creating my mission, like being connected to my mission and growing my mission, growing my platform, growing my dreams, growing my vision. And when I got back, I decided, okay, I'm going to start uploading. I had set the goal for myself to upload twice a week. I was like, I can do twice a week. I can do that, especially with listening to Glow and realizing all I have to do is videos in one take. I can do videos. I can do a single take video twice a week. That's not a problem. But then I just started asking myself, well, what if I did upload every single day? How would that feel? Like, let me just experiment and see what happens. And so the very first video that I uploaded wasn't even a video that I recorded. It was actually, I had gone live on Instagram. So I put that video up first. And then the very next day I recorded my New Era video and then uploaded that. And then every single day I would just get up. I would put on my face and put on a cute outfit. Well, really a cute top, because normally I would just be wearing shorts or like sweatpants on the bottom. But from the, waist up, I was looking good. Camera ready, as they say. And I would film a video. And then what was great about that process was that I had already done my makeup. I was already camera ready. And so then what I would do is I would maybe film a couple of reels for Instagram. And so it just started the process of me just creating a system for myself where I would record, immediately go to CapCut. I would convert the video down because I'm recording in 4K, but uploading to YouTube in 4K just takes way too much time. So then I would record in 4K to get the high quality, upload to CapCut, reduce it down to 1080p, and then upload to YouTube from there, which would make the process much more simple. I'm recording my videos on my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So it's super simple camera to use, and I've been using that for recording my reels and other content and things like that. So I'm already familiar with it. And even though I'm only doing one video or doing single videos in one take, I still wanted to have high quality footage. And so using my DJI has been amazing for me, but you could also just use your YouTube if you're interested in going into this process. So I upload to DJI, take my card reader out, put it into CapCut, reduce the file size of the video, which takes 5 to 10 minutes to do that, and then upload to YouTube. After I record on my DJI, before I remove my SIM card, or not my SIM card, my SD card, I just take a couple, like a short video of like 15 seconds of me just looking at the camera. And then in the DJI app, you have the ability to take screenshots from videos. So I would take that 15-second video, take a couple of screenshots, and then choose the one that I like the best, and then use that as my thumbnail for YouTube. And so rather than going onto Canva and putting all the text and the graphics and all the things, I just spent uploading a cute video or a cute photo of myself as my thumbnail. And so I went from having this drawn out, complicated, hours long process to now being able to record and upload within an hour. And that was just so much easier on my nervous system, so much easier on my energy levels. And it created a lot more spaciousness in my day that allowed me to be able to upload daily. And so there were still a couple of days, over these last 30 days where, I just didn't have the energy, or I didn't feel like putting on makeup. I was tired, maybe, whatever was going on. Like, we all have like ups and downs, especially as women, because we operate on a monthly cycle. So depending on where you are in the phase of your monthly cycle, you might just have a little bit more low energy. So if you look through my videos over this last month, you'll see that there are a couple of videos where, I'm just taking a walk in the park and doing a walk and talk, no makeup, have a ball cap on, and just doing like a chit chat video, which was all that I had the capacity to do that day. There were also a couple of videos where I was visiting my sister for the Christmas holiday, so I didn't have a lot of privacy, so I would just walk outside with my tripod on her deck and record and upload, and then I did it that way. So even when I was out of town, I was still able to put out a video every single day. What was beautiful about this process is that I started getting feedback right away. I started getting comments and people saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm enjoying these daily uploads. Thank you so much. These videos are really helping me." And it was really beautiful because I got to start talking more in depth about the things that I really enjoy talking about. My channel is about dark feminine wisdom, divine feminine wisdom, lifestyle, and I haven't even done much lifestyle, but I talk a little bit about my story and some of the things that I've been through. And it's been really beautiful because I have felt very limited by Instagram as a platform, because that's short form content. It's very low attention span. And sometimes I don't enjoy taking these concepts that I'm talking about and trying to condense them down into 2 or 3 minutes for a reel, because you lose nuance that way. You don't get to really really chew and dig into the topics. And so getting to take a topic that is really important to me, like right now I've been recording my Dark Feminine series, which I have 3 videos up already for my Dark Feminine series. And if I were talking about this on Instagram, I would not be able to go as in depth as I get to do here on YouTube. So that's been just a really beautiful way of me getting to talk about the things that I want on a day-to-day basis, and also creating a database for people to pull from, because I am a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, I have one-on-one offerings, and I teach workshops, and I host retreats and co-host retreats. I do in-person gatherings, and a lot of the women that are in my field, that are in my fractal, they can't afford the work that I offer. Maybe they are, building up their income, or they're newer to spirituality, they're newer to healing, and so they are looking for things that are affordable and easily digestible. And so being able to show up every day, I am now creating this beautiful library that I can direct those people to when they come into my DMs and they say, "I really want to work with you, but I can't afford a one-on-one, or I can't afford your workshop, I can't afford your immersion that you're marketing right now." I can say, "Hey, I hear you, I understand. Here's a link to my YouTube channel where I have over 30 long form videos where I'm talking about these things, and it's free content for you to consume." And that's been really, really beautiful. Now I want to talk a little bit about the analytics, because what are the changes that I've seen? So I've gotten dozens and dozens and dozens of comments, well over 100 comments since I started uploading every single day. And the growth that I've gotten to experience on my channel has been really profound. So in just the last 30 days, I've gained about, I think it's 542 subscribers in the last 40 days. I have gotten just over or almost 12,000 views, so 11.6 views, 11,600 views, and my watch time hours have almost quadrupled. I started out with about, I think, 300 watch hours, and since I started posting over these last few months, or excuse me, 30 days, I have gained an additional 1,200 watch hours. And for those of you who are trying to get monetized, you know that you need 3,000 watch hours in order to get monetized. So in the last 30 days, I have gone from just having a couple hundred watch hours to being halfway to getting monetized on my channel, which is amazing. And I'm excited to continue this process because I feel like if I stick with this for another month or two, maybe even less time than that, if I have a video that takes off, I will be monetized in a very, very short amount of time. And that's really, it's very, very encouraging, and it makes you want to keep going. It makes you want to keep moving. So what else? So one thing I will say is, or one thing I want to talk about is the sustainability of uploading daily, uploading long form daily. Is this going to be sustainable for me in the long run? My honest answer is I don't think that it's going to be sustainable for me long term. And I'll explain why in just a second. I need some water. Now, I do believe that I can continue to upload long form every single day. And it might require me to do more, walking in the park, walk and talk type videos. But the way that I've been doing them with, getting dressed and doing the setup and all of that, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I don't want to discount myself. What I will say is that when I first decided to go all in on YouTube, my goal was to upload twice a day or twice a week. And I've done it every single day for 30 days. Yesterday was the first day that I did not upload a long form video to YouTube. And the reason why I did not upload yesterday was because, well, there's a couple of reasons why. I came down with, I don't know if it was a cold, but I was definitely under the weather this week. I have been in the process of launching my Selfish Bitch initiation, which began on Wednesday. And so we started that Wednesday. And I just haven't been feeling the best. I'm also just coming out of my menstruation phase. And so I've had much lower energy levels. And there were a few days over these last couple of days where I just did not feel like recording a video. I just did not feel like it. I was so tired. And yesterday, I decided to give myself a break. I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to take this day. I'm going to rest. I'm not going to put out any content anywhere. I'm just going to rest and honor my body. And something that I want to make note of for those of you that are watching who are thinking about going into this daily journey, it is possible to do it. But I also want to make sure that this is sustainable for me long term and that I'm honoring my body, because that's something that is very important. I teach body wisdom in all of my work, honoring your womb, listening to the cues of your body. Also in human design, I'm a projector, so I do not have a defined sacral. And I don't know what Glow's human design is. I imagine just statistically, it's highly probable that she is a generator because 70% of the population are generators. And so for someone who is a generator who has a defined sacral, putting out a video, especially a long form video every single day, I think is something that is more sustainable for generators. And I do want to be clear, I don't want to project as a projector onto non-energy or non-sacral beings that you can't show up every single day, because I do think it's possible. I've proven that it is possible to do that. But for someone who doesn't have a defined sacral center, we have just different energy levels. We have different output levels. And then when you start getting into the intricacies of your design, for instance, I'm a 2-4, which is the hermit opportunist. I need time to pull away. I need time to be in my own energy. I need time to hide away from the public so that I can receive more downloads, receive more information. I also have an undefined throat. And what I've noticed over this last week or two is that I'm feeling a little bit more constriction in my throat, which means that I am over externalizing. I am talking a little bit more than my body and my throat has the ability to handle. And you can hear it sometimes in the cracking of my voice. And so these are things that I'm listening to and paying attention to when it comes to, the way that I'm showing up in my work and in my content. And so not posting yesterday was strategic for me, not just in terms of honoring my body, but also in terms of, I always pull back and challenge myself to look at where I'm being rigid or dogmatic in my approach to things, where I'm being rigid and dogmatic in my beliefs. I'm constantly, checking in with myself and saying, where am I pushing? Where am I overextending? Where am I being rigid? Where am I being dogmatic? Where am I not giving myself enough room to breathe? And so I felt in the morning, there was some guilt that was coming up in my system of not filming the video. Like, well, if I don't film, then am I failing myself? Am I not showing up for myself? And for me, the exposure therapy is very important. And so I decided I'm not going to film. I'm going to let myself process through any guilt that comes through, process through any shame that comes through, because I'm not failing myself. I showed up and put a video out every single day for 30 days, whereas previously, as I showed you, for almost all of 2025, I was only posting sporadically. In 2024, I literally posted 2 videos. So I went from posting 2 videos in 2024 to posting, I think it was like maybe 8 long form videos in 2025 up until December, when I began the process of showing up daily. And that, I think I started that on December 9th or December 10th. And that was when I began my daily process. And so to see the shift in how I showed up, I think is a win. Like, I am very happy. I'm very proud of myself. I do not feel disappointed in my process at all. I'm really, really grateful for everything that I've done. I'm grateful for the growth that I've experienced in my channel, getting over 500 new subscribers in just a month from showing up daily, dozens and dozens of comments. I've also gotten bookings in my business from my YouTube channel. There are women that have signed up for my Selfish Bitch initiation. I've gotten human design bookings. I've gotten womb alchemy bookings. So even though I'm not monetized in my channel by showing up here every single day, I have made money. And so I just want to pat myself on the back, pat myself on the back and give myself credit for that. And this has been a beautiful journey. Now, my intention is still to show up as many days as I can in the week. I don't know if I'll be showing up every single day, but at least 4 or 5 days a week feels really, really sustainable for me. I'm still going to, go for every day, but on those days where my energy levels are low, or I'm not feeling well, or my throat is just saying, no, girl, you do not have anything to say today, I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to trust my body. But I did want to share this video for anybody out there who has been struggling with showing up more consistently. And, I gave some advice to a friend because she's been struggling with, posting on Instagram. And she was just like, I want to be consistent. And I said, well, honey, consistent doesn't mean every day. Consistent means what is sustainable for you. So if what is sustainable for you is every single day, do that. If consistent is once a week, do that. If consistent is every other day, whatever combination that it is for you that you can do on a consistent basis, week after week, month after month, that is your level of consistency. Showing up every single day, I know for me, it is not sustainable for me months and months at a time, especially because I'm running a business. I am a projector. I have lower energy levels. I honor my cycle. I don't like to push or force myself to do things when I don't feel like doing things. And I'm also, you know, I'm writing. I want to give more of my energy to my writing, my Substack. And so I just don't know if it's sustainable. Am I still going to pursue it? Yes. But on those days where I don't have the capacity to do it, I'm not going to do it. Do I feel like I'm going to drop back into those old habits of going months and months without showing up? I don't feel like that's the case, but also at the same time, if I want to take a few months off, I will do that. The most important thing about this process has been me showing myself that I can do it, that I can say, I'm going to set a goal to post 30 days in a row, and I can do that. And I can do it in a way that is much more simplified than what it was that I was doing before, because I thought that I needed to record these videos and have the great thumbnail and have lots of edits and, you know, different camera changes, you know, where people are like pulling in and pulling out and all of those things. I don't need to do that, because my people are going to find me. The people who need the wisdom that I'm sharing in my videos, they're going to come to me. They're going to find me. I've gotten so many comments from women that are saying, I just found you and now I'm binging all of your content. And I'm just like, that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for those women and some of the men who are coming into my world and are saying, what you are sharing is exactly what I need in this moment. Thank you for mirroring what I'm going through. You know, I'm moving through something difficult, and this video was the exact medicine that I needed to hear in this moment. That is the most important thing for me. So I am going to continue to show up consistently, and I'm going to keep playing around with what consistency looks like for me. Right now, it is pretty much daily. But if there is a day or two in the week where I can't do that, then I'm going to listen to my body and I'm going to listen to, you know, what spirit is telling me, and I'm going to honor that, because then it will allow me to restore myself, replenish myself, to come back the next day and do a video like this, where I have more energy, where I am excited, where I get to talk about the ups and downs, and I can share this journey with you all. So if you've been with me since I started this process, thank you so much for rolling with me. If this is your first introduction to my channel, thank you so much for being here. I would love for you to drop a comment down below. Let me know how this landed for you. If this gave you just a little bit of like a breathing room around how much more simple this process can be. Because when I found Glow's content, that was what it gave me. It gave me just like this sigh of relief that I don't have to make this as difficult as I have been making it. If all you have is an iPhone, like, you don't need a DJI camera. You don't need the Canon M5 I. You don't need, is that the M5 I? I don't know. I have it, but I don't remember exactly what it is. But you don't need all the fancy equipment. All you need is a phone and an internet connection. And if you have that, then you can begin your process of just showing up for yourself and seeing what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what are the things that people are listening to. And oh yes, the one last thing I wanted to share that has been such a beautiful part of this process is learning to trust that my ideas and my creativity is not finite. Because sometimes we think that we're gonna run out of things to say. We're gonna run out of ideas. We're gonna run out of content. And I have been able to talk about something every single day, even if it's a little clunky, even if I'm stumbling over my words, even if my throat kind of hitches and I need to take a sip of water. I've realized that I've been able to share something every single day, and I've learned to trust my voice. I've learned to trust my knowledge, trust in my wisdom, trust in my ability to just talk to the camera and speak off the top of my head, and everything that needs to come through is going to come through. So thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments how this landed for you. Does it make you feel like you've been overcomplicating things and now you have a different path for yourself of simplifying the process so that you can create more consistency? And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe, because I'm going to continue showing up here and sharing what it is that I'm learning, sharing what it is that I already know and what I have developed the gained and earned wisdom in. And I'm just very grateful, very, very grateful. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next video.